Chosen one, you are on God's emergency list. You will change. There is a shift in the heavens, and your name has been called with urgency. Not because you are in danger, but because you are needed. You've been placed on God's emergency list, not because you are falling apart, but because it is finally your time to be put back together in the way you were always meant to be. Something is stirring in the spiritual realm. Something fierce, precise, and divine is happening behind the scenes of your life. And chosen one, you are the center of it. You are not being overlooked. You are being highlighted. You've felt the pressure. You've endured the quiet moments when nothing made sense and everything around you seemed to break while you kept trying to hold on. You were not forgotten. No, you were being processed for something greater. You've been on standby, but not abandoned. This waiting season wasn't punishment. It was preparation. And now, you've reached a divine threshold. The transformation that is coming over you is not casual. It is critical. It is urgent. That's why you're on God's emergency list. There's something about your life, your assignment, and your legacy that can no longer be delayed. Before we go deeper into this message, I want you to feel the energy of what's rising. Chosen one, stay with this video until the very end. Let every word speak directly into the core of your spirit. Write your warmest wishes and the number 777 in the comments. Let this be the moment where you send a signal to the universe that you are ready for the shift. Wishes do come true, and your alignment with this message is not random. It is a divine confirmation. Now, chosen one, like this video, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel, and let's begin. This change that's approaching you is not something you need to chase. It is chasing you. Heaven has issued an alert with your name on it. That's why things have felt tight, confusing, or even chaotic lately. It's because the spiritual restructuring has begun. You don't need to be afraid of the disruption. You need to recognize it for what it is: a divine interruption to set your life in order. God is not trying to scare you. God is summoning you. You are about to change in a way that no one around you is expecting. And this change won't come from external things. It will start inside. Your thoughts are being rewired. Your emotions are being realigned. Your soul is undergoing a cleansing. Old versions of you are expiring. Old patterns, attachments, and energies that once bound you are now being severed. You are on the emergency list because time can no longer be wasted. Your destiny is under divine renovation. And because of this, you may start to feel isolated. Don't misinterpret that solitude as rejection. When God calls you higher, He often calls you away. You are being separated for sacred reasons. The isolation is not a punishment. It is a sanctuary. It is where your wings will grow. It is where clarity will find you. It is where the voice of divine truth will speak louder than every noise that has tried to drown you out. What you're going through now is not the end. It's the emergency room for your elevation. Your past doesn't disqualify you from what's coming. It qualifies you. Every heartbreak, every loss, every betrayal, every breakdown, it all becomes holy data in the blueprint of your becoming. Nothing is wasted. Everything that once broke you down is about to build you up. You are a miracle in motion. You are not behind. You are being pulled into place with heavenly speed. The divine hand over your life is not passive. It is deliberate. It is urgent. It is calling you into action. Now, you're going to look back soon and realize that this season of pressure wasn't designed to destroy you. It was the weight required to give birth to the version of you that was always inside. This emergency call is not to scare you. It is to awaken you. You were not created to be average. You were not built to play small. You are the one your bloodline has been waiting for. You are the interruption to generational curses. You are the turning point, the cycle breaker, the builder, the rebirth. Everything that once seemed delayed will now feel accelerated. But make no mistake, this isn't just speed for the sake of speed. It's alignment, it's precision, and it will feel like everything is happening all at once. The connections will start to come. The clarity will start to land. The resources, the healing, the open doors, they're already en route. Your only job is to remain ready, to stay faithful, to trust that you're not being left behind. You're being set up for a supernatural jump forward. This is not the time to doubt your path. This is not the time to shrink to fit into environments that no longer reflect your growth. If you've been feeling the urge to change, to shift, to leave behind what no longer resonates, that's the emergency signal in your soul responding to the divine call. You're not crazy, you're not broken, you're not lost, you're awakening, and awakenings are never comfortable, but they are always necessary. Stay alert. You may start noticing things falling apart around you, not because you've done something wrong, but because the old can't hold the new that's about to be born in you. Don't panic when things start to fall away. Don't resist the shedding. This is part of your process. You are being refined, not ruined. And when you come out on the other side of this transformation, you won't even recognize the level of strength, wisdom, and clarity you've gained. You are on God's emergency list because the world needs what you carry. You are the light in a time of confusion, the anchor in a sea of noise. You are the voice of calm power, the presence of peace, and the vessel of divine solutions. And because of that, you cannot afford to stay where you are. The system of heaven has issued your name with priority. You have been activated. You've been pulled from the background and brought to the front line. This is your divine dispatch. Your calling has gone from quiet preparation to active duty. The assignment is here. Everything about your life is about to be reshaped. But you won't have to force it. This is the kind of change that is divinely accelerated, supernaturally protected, authentically unstoppable. You are no longer in hiding. You are no longer healing in the dark. Now you're rising, glowing, building, speaking, and living from a place of power that only God could have created. You are changing, and the whole atmosphere around you will have no choice but to change with you. You've been walking through days that felt heavy, nights that stretched too long, and moments that tested the very core of who you are. But in all of that, unseen, unheard, and often uncelebrated, you were growing. You were shedding illusions. You were gaining spiritual weight. You were expanding in ways that only heaven could measure. And now, chosen one, you've reached the tipping point. The pressure didn't crush you. It crowned you. You didn't just survive. You transformed. That's why you're no longer on the general list. You've been placed on God's emergency list. The activation couldn't wait any longer. The shift was too vital. The divine mission tied to your name could not be postponed another day. This is a spiritual code, red. And it's not because something is wrong with you, it's because everything is finally lining up. You've been anointed for something massive, and the heavens cannot delay it anymore. That's why the heat turned up. That's why things that once felt stable started to crumble. Your comfort zone expired because your calling needed more space. This transformation is happening fast because your time has come. You are no longer preparing in the shadows. You are stepping into the spotlight, of your divine assignment. Don't let fear interpret your transformation as a crisis. This is not a collapse. It is a construction. You are being rebuilt with sacred bricks, sealed with resilience, and fortified by every scar you've earned along the way. You may not see it yet, but you're becoming the kind of person who cannot be moved by external storms because your inner foundation is now rooted in divine clarity. What used to trigger you will lose its grip. What once confused you will now fuel your wisdom. What once broke you will now build others through your voice. This moment is not an ordinary breakthrough. It is the kind that redefines a person. You are not changing just so you can live a little better or feel a little stronger. You are changing because what you carry is needed by people you haven't even met yet. Your healing is not just for you. Your emergence is tied to liberation that will ripple far beyond your own name. Your journey is a spiritual key unlocking doors for generations after you. That's why the process was so intense. That's why the pressure didn't let up. God knew what was buried inside of you, and now it's being called forward. If people around you don't understand what you're becoming, don't worry. They weren't meant to. Not everyone will comprehend divine acceleration. Some will misread your withdrawal as arrogance. Some will see your silence and assume defeat. But they don't know that inside your silence, God was speaking. Inside your retreat, God was restoring. You weren't hiding. You were being refined in the sacred cocoon of your next level. And now? That cocoon is cracking open. You're about to emerge with power that doesn't come from status or money or fame, but from truth, from alignment, from divine clarity. The kind of clarity that makes your no powerful, your yes focused, and your direction undeniable. People who underestimated you will have to adjust. Environments that once contained you will no longer fit. Even the version of you that played it small out of fear or people-pleasing won't survive this next level. You are outgrowing your old self, gracefully and powerfully. Chosen one, you are being called into alignment with divine timing. That's why things are moving so fast. You've waited long enough. You've endured long enough. Heaven has taken notice, and now divine restoration is moving toward you at an unstoppable pace. Don't be surprised if things that took others years start happening for you in weeks. Don't be shocked when doors swing open without the effort you used to burn yourself out trying to apply. This is what happens when you're on God's emergency list. Grace overrides grind. Favor overrides frustration. But with this shift comes responsibility. You cannot return to the mindset that kept you trapped. You cannot entertain relationships that fed your fear. You cannot keep giving your energy to places that dim your light. Your clarity is your compass now. Your intuition is your map. And your peace is the proof. If it costs your peace, it is no longer permitted to follow you into this new chapter. Let go boldly. Move on peacefully. Trust that what's ahead of you is bigger than what's behind. The change you are undergoing may not be visible to everyone, but soon the results will be. Your voice will sound different. Your choices will reflect maturity. Your presence will carry divine authority. The glow will be unmissable, not because of external beauty, but because of internal alignment. You will walk into rooms differently. You will attract what matches your evolution. And you will notice how the wrong things fall off without a fight. That is confirmation of your growth. You didn't come this far to return to normal. You came to rewrite the story, to become the shift, to embody the vision. You are now in a space where miracles don't just visit, you host them. Where breakthroughs don't just come, they dwell with you. where elevation is not just a dream, it's a reality unfolding in front of you. The only requirement? Stay grounded, stay ready, stay aware. You are not being transformed for nothing. You're not being refined just to look polished. This is about legacy. This is about purpose. This is about impact. God didn't select you randomly. He assigned you deliberately. There's a reason you've been through the fire and didn't burn. There's a reason the attacks couldn't take you out. You are still here, standing, breathing, fighting, rising. That is the proof. The emergency wasn't your destruction. It was your dispatch. It was the signal that your time had come. This shift is only just beginning. The energy around you is going to intensify. You'll start to feel a pull toward new places, new opportunities, new levels of growth. Follow that pull. Don't second-guess what's been confirmed in your spirit. When you're on God's emergency list, there's no room for delay. It's time to move. It's time to trust. It's time to rise. This stage of your transformation is going to feel unfamiliar, not because you're doing something wrong, but because you're stepping into a version of yourself that you've never fully met before. And that's exactly what the divine intended. You are not who you used to be. You're no longer functioning from survival. You're stepping into a season where you begin to lead from wisdom, power, and holy urgency. Chosen one, the time has come where your presence will no longer go unnoticed, your light will no longer be dimmed, and your voice will no longer be silenced. The heavens have made an announcement, and it is echoing through every layer of your life. You have been called forward. The shift you are entering will confuse those who only knew you in your brokenness. They remember the version of you that tolerated too much, gave too much, hoped too little, and questioned your own worth. But that version has been retired. You are evolving in real time, and God is not asking for permission from your past to do it. This isn't a glow-up. This is a spiritual metamorphosis. The kind of transformation that breaks every label, reorders your path, and sets you in motion toward everything that was divinely written for you from the beginning. There are no coincidences anymore. Everything you see, feel, and experience in this season is either a mirror or a message. Pay close attention. The patterns that used to distract you are now being exposed. The habits that used to sabotage you are now becoming uncomfortable. The people who once fit effortlessly into your life may now feel like resistance. That's because your frequency is rising. Your soul is tuning to the divine rhythm of your true assignment. When that happens, anything not in alignment will naturally shake off. You don't need to force this change. You just need to cooperate with it. What's coming next requires a version of you that is sober in spirit, bold in direction, and unwavering in conviction. The old coping mechanisms will no longer satisfy. The old excuses will no longer apply. You're being called to operate at a new level of truth, a truth that isn't afraid to walk away from comfort if it means walking into your crown. You are not here to blend in. You are here to rise up and awaken others simply by being fully awakened yourself. And let's be honest, there will be moments when this evolution feels lonely. That's the nature of true transformation. You'll grieve who you used to be, not because you want to go back, but because that version of you was all you knew for so long. But don't let that grief paralyze your progress. Celebrate it. Honor the parts of you that carried you this far, but do not romanticize the prison they kept you in. You're not abandoning yourself. You're rescuing your truth from all the roles, labels, and fears that buried it. God has placed you on His emergency list not just because of the urgency of your calling, but because the world is in need of what's been buried inside of you. You've been carrying a solution. You've been walking around with wisdom that pain carved into you. You've been marked by grace, and it shows in your endurance, in your compassion, in the way you refuse to give up. That's why the divine couldn't wait any longer. It's time. And every delay you've faced is about to make sense in ways you never imagined. You may start feeling a strong urge to clean out your physical space, cut ties with stagnant relationships, or shift your priorities drastically. Don't ignore that urge. It's part of the divine clearing process. What's coming to you cannot thrive in clutter, physical, emotional, or spiritual. You are becoming a vessel for clarity, for alignment, for divine order. What no longer serves your elevation must be released, gently but completely. You're not losing anything. You're creating space for everything that's meant to find you. People will watch you change and won't understand it. They'll wonder what happened to the old you. They'll question your distance, your silence, your focus. Some will call you cold. Some will call you different. But you'll know the truth. You're becoming who you always were before the world told you otherwise. You're aligning with the original blueprint, the sacred version of you that's been waiting behind the curtain of your fear, your trauma, and your past conditioning. This is emergence, and it will not be gentle, but it will be good. There is no more time to play small. No more time to delay what you already know deep down. The discomfort you're feeling now isn't a warning. It's a confirmation. It's your soul saying, "We can't stay here anymore." It's your spirit saying, "The old life doesn't fit." It's God saying, "It's time." You're on the emergency list because the assignment tied to your name is urgent. The souls that need your light can't wait. The calling on your life can't be buried under fear anymore.